So this is the curry comb. This is the first thing you use whenever you groom a horse, and you do it around in circles, and you kind of press a little bit hard, but not super hard, and you just move around in circles. Next is the hard brush, and you groom the same way the hair is going. Next is the soft brush, and you do the exact same thing you would do with a hard brush. Just groom it along with the hair. So one thing you have to know is that you have to stay beside them. If you're going to go behind them, you have to let them know by tapping their butt, which tells them. But in this case, we're going to start picking their hooves. So what you do is you kind of grab right here. Whenever you pick up their foot, you hold their hoof like this with your one hand, and you take your hoof pick, and you pick their hooves. Now you have to watch out for the frog, which is this middle piece right here. This is called the frog. You don't want to touch that with your pick. Next, if this is optional, but you take your brush, just kind of clean it out. You pick their hooves to get all that rocks out and keeps them from stepping on rocks. Now with the hind foot, you want to stay away from the foot so they don't kick you by accident, but you treat it just like the front foot. Watch out for the frog, just brush it out. Okay, so whenever you ride a horse, something that is important to remember is to wear boots. You should also wear a long sleeve shirt, or like at least not a tank top or anything like that. That could, if you fall off, you can scratch yourself and that will damage up here, and you don't want to do that. This is just a little protection. You should also wear a helmet. Yeah. So Artie, he has a very narrow gait. So we use brushing boots, also known as leg boots. And his feet are basically doing this whenever he walks, trots, or canters, and so he can hurt his back feet, and that could cause a few problems. So to prevent that, whenever you ride, you can put these things on. And there's a certain way of putting them on. You always want the strap to be facing backwards, so if you look at it, how I remember it is if he's moving forward, the air will be keeping it back instead of trying to push it up. So you want your straps facing back. And you want to have them a little bit high. Different trainers, different rules, but you want to have them a little bit high, and you want to make sure you cover this. So this can go a little bit lower, but you want to make sure you cover where they can, where they nick themselves. So now I'm going to show you how to properly saddle up a horse. First, you're going to take your saddle pad and you're going to put it on them. You want to make sure you come up to their withers. And remember to have the straps up front. They should not be backwards. If they're backwards, then you put the saddle on backwards. Next, you take your saddle and you gently put it on them. And one thing I personally do is I put this up because as you ride, this will come back down and it'll move the saddle back. So you don't really want the saddle to move back. The saddle pad to move back. Next, you take your gullet straps and you put them through the strap. Then you take your girth and you put them through this strap. Now sometimes some girths don't have this strap, but mine does, so you put them through that strap. And then the buckles vary on different horses, but knowing him, I started out a little bit loose, and then as I go on, I tighten it. Next, he'll come around the horse. And sometimes you have to adjust it, and that's okay. Just move it up a little bit. Another thing to remember is that this line right here should be in the middle of the withers and up the neck. It should not be off to the side, it should be up straight. So now I'm going to show you how to properly bridle a horse. So first thing you're going to do is, normally, depending on your type of bridle, most bridles you have to bridle on the left side. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to unbuckle this. Some horses have ties, so if your horse is tied on, you just unbuckle that and you hold them with the halter. In this case, he's tied on both sides, so what I would do, I would also unbuckle on the other side. Next, I would throw my reins over. It's okay if they're flopped on the side, that's fine. You can just take them off after you're done bridling. And you can take off their halter. If your horse is acting out of control, you can always hold them right here, and that's totally fine. Next, you take the bit and you push it up, but he's very willing, so with the bridle, so normally you would have to kind of open up their mouth a little bit, but he's very willing. Next, I put the brow back. Next, I put the brow band through so that way it doesn't bother him. But the first thing I buckle is throat latch, because if it comes undone down here and this is attached and this is not, it'll be hanging off and hanging on his mouth, and that's not okay for the horse. So this will keep the whole thing on. Make sure that the whole reason is that this keeps it from coming off. Next, you can do your nose band. And then next, you do your flash. The throat latch should be the first thing on and the last thing off. Now you take your reins off and over, and your horse is completely done. Okay, so you always knight your horse on the left side, because back then, knights had their swords on the right, so whenever they mounted, they always got on the left, so that way they didn't hit their sword. My horse is a little bit scared of this one, so we're going to see if I can mount him on this side. But if not, we have to use. Next, you get a hold of your reins. You get a hold of this. And lightly swing yourself over. Now you're done. Onto your horse. Welcome to my stables or dressage arena. This is where I'm going to be finishing my last few things for my horsemanship merit badge. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to halt and dismount. So I'm going to bring you into a walk. And using my core and pushing down with my stirrup, I can begin to halt. Next, after I know he's totally halted, I can take my stirrups out, and then I can lean forward, throw my right leg up and over and push out. That. Next, I take the reins over. Sometimes I let him scratch himself. Then I put up my stirrups because because if he takes off, these will just bang on him and it's not going to really help him at all. And it also helps you clean up. Same with the other side. And then you loosen their girth. It doesn't need to be super tight. I normally loosen it 2 holes to 1 hole. So first what you're going to do is you're going to put your reins over the head of the horse. Then, like I said, this needs to be the last thing that comes off. So first you can start with your flash. Then you can do your noseband. Then you can do your throat latch. You need to hold it like this so that way when they're committed to take the bit out, they are. Then put your halter over. Next, what you can do is you can take off your reins and attach them on the other side. And then you can attach them on this side. And that's how you unbridle your horse. So next I'm going to show you how to unsaddle your horse. So some saddles come with a saddle cover, some don't. In this case, mine does. So I'm going to show you how to put your saddle cover on. I like putting my saddle cover on before I take everything off. To me, it's easier. You don't have to. So first, get it all nice and tight on this side. Come around the other end. Put it on. Make sure to have your stirrups up. Next, you can take off your girth. Remember not to pull it out because it doesn't feel good on the horse. And also make sure that that your gullet straps are out of the saddle strap. Then you can take it off, I guess. So I'm going to show you how to tie them up, or tie your horse up. Hi, hello. So first you're going to have like a little loop. You're going to put it through. You would stop, put it through right here. And then you're going to kind of put it through and kind of make a little figure 8, I guess. You can pull it down and bam, that's how you can tie your horse. And then you just pull it down and you're done. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to get your horse, lead your horse, and release your horse. So we're going to open it up, or open the gate. Then you have to close your gate because sometimes you'll have another horse and sometimes they get hard to catch, and then they'll run out. There's plenty of things that could happen. Hello. So, I like to have this part open. This is kind of like the throat latch of a bridle, kind of, but I like to have it open. It's easy to slide on and off. So here, I'm gonna slide on, come around, and just clip it. Okay, so how to lead your horse. You always want to be on their left, by their shoulder. Because of their view, they can only see beside them. They can't see straight behind them, so you don't want to be straight behind them, getting them or leading them. You always want to be on their side and by their shoulder. So if you're facing right behind them and you're trying to get them, just go off to the left and get them. Now to walk them, you want to have your extra lead rope, just kind of like this in a circle, and you want to have your right hand right up to the top. The reason why you don't do this is because if they take off, they'll take your arm with you and you'll hurt yourself. Now to release your horse. So they should come to a stop, and then all you do is you take your right rope, put it with your left, and unattach it. Then just slide it off. And I give mine a cookie afterwards because he's a good boy. Next, you just walk in front of them or just walk out and away. That way they don't hurt you. 10 parts of a saddle and a bridle. So this right here is the stirrup. This is the leathers. This is the gullet strap. This is a girth. Inside the saddle right here is called the tree. If you come over here to the bridle, this is called a flash. This is a nose band. This is a brow band. This up here is the headstall. This is the throat latch. And these are the reins.